might want to reconsider those travel plans tonight, with parts of southern Ontario expected to get up to 15 centimeters of snow.
Please give yourself time, give yourself space. Both hands on the wheel, no aggressive steering, no aggressive braking. If you find yourself sliding, look to where you want to go, steer in that direction, but try not to get in those conditions in the first place.
A fast-moving low-pressure system is expected to move across the region, with snow tapering to flurries overnight. City officials say that crews and equipment are ready to deploy salting roads and clearing snow. Toronto's winter services plan is also in place, with warming centers open for those experiencing homelessness. Let's bring in weather specialist Kabir Bagaria with more.
Thank you so much for that, Jaden. Well, folks, we're looking at a current temperature of about -2, cloudy skies as we see that snowfall start to make its way into the region throughout the evening tonight. I'm Kabir Bagaria from the SkyTracker Weather Center. Thanks so much for tuning in as we take a look at, well, that snowfall already starting to make its way in there throughout Saturday afternoon, eventually continuing through the dinner hour and into the overnight period. So this is what we're looking at here, folks. So through about 6, 7 o'clock is when we're going to see it start, continuing through 10:30. Heavy periods possible, blowing snow, making driving a bit more difficult, so be aware of that. But by the time we get into our Sunday morning, this will have already moved up the St. Lawrence over to Quebec and into Atlantic Canada and the Maritimes. So definitely something to be aware of, especially as there are special weather advisories in place already. How much snowfall can we be seeing? Well, about 5 to 10 centimeters around the Golden Horseshoe. If we go up toward Peterborough, Kingston, and the Kawarthas, almost 10 centimeters there as well. Ottawa seeing a bit of a lighter finish, but temperature-wise, this is where we could be going, staying below the freezing mark for this week ahead. Sunny periods possible on Monday. Low temperatures cooling off on Wednesday as well. We're sitting just around our normal high of -2. But folks, be aware of that snowfall throughout your afternoon and your evening, and be very, very careful on those roads.
All right, thanks so much, Kabir. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. All right, it's time to take a look at our full weather forecast. Kabir, with it being February, of course, we can expect cold and sounds like snow.
Cold and snow is very much what is in store for us in the east. In fact, we're seeing this snow system make its way not just for Toronto and southern Ontario, but all the way up the St. Lawrence to Atlantic Canada, with up to 15 centimeters of snow coming up.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to be a big system.
It will be. Well, folks, from the SkyTracker Weather Center, I'm Kabir Bagaria. Thank you for tuning in for our forecast, not just for Toronto and southern Ontario, but of course for the whole country, folks. Let's talk a bit about what we can be seeing here in terms of snowfall. I'm going to zoom in on this for you later, but for now, we're seeing snowfall starting throughout the evening tonight, going into the overnight period, eventually moving into the Maritimes and Atlantic Canada through your Sunday morning. Be aware of about 10 to 15 centimeters of accumulation, with special weather alerts and statements already out from Environment Canada. Seeing about 10 centimeters of accumulation around the Golden Horseshoe. Heavier periods possible around the Georgian Bay area. And of course, as we take a look at Peterborough, Kingston, the Kawarthas, about 10 centimeters there, increasing to about 20 as we talk about Ottawa. But for the West Coast, it's mostly just a temperature story here. Cooler temperatures persist. Higher elevation snowfall possible there for the Rockies and BC's interior. Speaking of BC, tomorrow in Vancouver, we're going up to a high of 2 degrees. Kelowna sitting at about -3. Edmonton and Calgary -14 respectively, -13 for Lethbridge there. And of course, staying nice and cool for Winnipeg. Sunny periods possible though through your Sunday. Saskatoon and Regina at -16, -15 there for Brandon. Sunny periods are going to be possible for Thunder Bay as well, sitting at -9. Toronto at -1. So be prepared for some of those temperatures to invoke some slushy weather, especially as we see things start to get a bit snowy. -4 for St. John's. Snowfall making its way into Halifax throughout the morning tomorrow and going down to -6. For now, though, we're hovering right around -2 for Toronto, -2 for Parry Sound there as well. So we are hovering around the freezing mark, which should hopefully get the snow to not turn into freezing rain, but we are right on that edge. So, folks, when are we going to see this? Starting at about 4:30 throughout the Golden Horseshoe, you'll start to see the snowfall make its way into the region, continuing right through midnight, and by the time we get into about 3, 4 a.m., it's made its way up the St. Lawrence toward Montreal and, of course, toward much of southern Ontario and then, of course, Atlantic Canada. So we've seen this accumulation already, and for the next 7 days, we don't have very much snowfall on the horizon. Mostly cloudy skies, some snow possible on Thursday. Very cold overnight period, though, for Wednesday, so watch out for that. For now, tonight, -4 is going to be your overnight temperature for Toronto, going up to about 1 lonely degree tomorrow as well. And, of course, we can expect to see some sunshine for Collingwood there along Georgian Bay. But, folks, stay very, very warm and be careful if you're taking your pets out for a walk. Look at this. Tomorrow morning, -4, snowy conditions possible. And look at this absolutely gorgeous puppy. Tosi is in her sweater from Grandma. How adorable is that?
Might want to reconsider those Super Bowl plans as part of southern Ontario is expected to get up to 15 centimeters of snow overnight.
Please give yourself time, give yourself space. Both hands on the wheel, no aggressive steering, no aggressive braking. If you find yourself sliding, look to where you want to go, steer in that direction, but try not to get in those conditions in the first place.
A fast-moving low-pressure system is expected to move across the region with snow tapering to flurries. City officials say that crews and equipment are ready to deploy salting roads and clearing snow. Toronto's winter services plan is also in place with warming centers open for those experiencing homelessness. Let's bring in weather specialist Kabir Bagaria for more.
Thank you so much for that, Jada. And as I take a look, of course, from the SkyTracker Weather Center at our current temperature, sitting at -3, that snowfall continuing through the overnight period, eventually dissipating by the time the sun rises into your Sunday. Folks, we have a snowy event happening throughout the overnight. You can anticipate this continuing right through about 6 a.m. or so before it makes its way into Atlantic Canada. Not a ton of accumulation, but one thing you can expect is blowing snow. If you're on the roads tonight, be extra careful. And through the morning, this could be a little bit slick as well, especially because we're hovering right around that freezing mark, not quite right below that. So anticipate it to get a little bit slushy out there. Snow squalls as well possible through your Monday and continuing throughout the week with cloudy periods possible as well going through your Tuesday and Wednesday. There is some more snowfall on the way. Now, how much snowfall can we really be seeing? 5 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for the most part for Toronto, and for the most part, folks, here it's going to be blowing snow that is the concern. Now, for the next 7 days or so, you can see your temperature starting to sit around 0, -4, eventually cooling off through the day, but your cooler temperatures are going to be for the overnights. Watch out for that -11 on Wednesday. Mostly a cloudy week ahead. However, be careful of that snowfall. Hopefully, you are safe on the roads tonight.
All right, thanks so much, Kabir. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau will be All right, it's time for a look at our full weather forecast. February brings all of the elements, Kabir. We have snow, it sounds like, cold temperatures, all of the things.
We have all of the things. We have cold temperatures in the west. We've got snow happening in the east. And, you know, we can see accumulations up to 15 centimeters in the east and temperatures down to the -30s in the west.
Wow.
From the SkyTracker Weather Center, I'm Kabir Bagaria. Thank you so much for tuning in to not just your Toronto forecast, but of course a look across the entire country with a focus, of course, on Toronto. -3 for the overnight period, and continuing with that snowfall, that is going to be the case right up until the early hours. A few centimeters of accumulation is what we're going to see here, but be extra careful on the roads, especially because there are special weather statements in effect from Environment Canada. Being very, very careful if you are driving out there, especially as we hover right around this freezing point. Things thaw through the day and then turn to ice overnight, so be extra careful. This weather system eventually making its way over to Atlantic Canada for Sunday morning and bringing with it snowfall to Montreal, Ottawa, southern Quebec as well on its way throughout Sunday. Now, how much snowfall can we be seeing? About 5 to 10 centimeters for the Golden Horseshoe, and of course as we make our way closer out to Kingston, Ottawa, there could be the possibility for more accumulation there, but mostly blowing snow is the risk. In terms of what's going on in the west, some higher elevation snowfall for the Rockies. But overall, staying relatively calm here. The possibility for some snow squalls throughout southern Alberta throughout Monday as well. But mostly it's a temperature story out toward the west coast. Vancouver sitting at 3 degrees, sunshine expected for the day. For Sunday, Whitehorse sitting at -13 here, -27 for Yellowknife, -14 for Edmonton, -13 for Calgary. As we take a look at Winnipeg there, -13 with some sunny periods possible. Saskatoon and Regina sitting at -16. 16 with mostly cloudy skies ahead. And of course, hovering right around that freezing mark, 0 for Toronto. Could dip a bit below that with Ottawa at -4, Montreal at -6 for Sunday. Halifax is going to sit around -6 as well. Fredericton -7. Sunny periods possible there. But as we talk about today's highs, well, we hovered right around -2, and the snowfall continues through the overnight period. This is still going to continue to make its way through here until about 3:34 a.m. before it makes its way up the St. Lawrence and toward the rest of eastern Canada. Now, more snow squalls are going to be possible through the day on Sunday, and eventually a little bit more on your Tuesday as well, going into the beginning of the work week. So a bit of a snowy on and off system is what we can be seeing throughout the week, especially as we play with these temperatures. Not very much accumulation, but overall be careful of the blowing snow. That is going to be the name of the game. Where are things going for the next 7 days, as I had just talked about? So for the overnight periods, your cooler temperatures sitting at -11 for Wednesday. Mostly cloudy skies for this week, sitting around -4, -3 going through the beginning of your week, with sunshine expected going into your Wednesday. For tonight, though, folks, -4 is going to be the name of the game. Cloudy skies as well, and for tomorrow, could be right around that freezing mark for Toronto and Southern Ontario. And of course, folks, one more thing I wanted to mention to you here. Not just are these temperatures going to be important if you're going out for a walk, but maybe if you're taking your puppy out, you want to watch for it too. Check this out, Tosie in her sweater from Grandma. How adorable is that? Watch those temperatures for tomorrow and be careful walking your dog out there in the snow.